And welcome back to another episode of Focus on Tomorrow. Focus on Tomorrow is a nonprofit organization which is located in Chicago, Illinois. You can find us on the web at www.focus-on-tomorrow.org, or you can email us at info@focus-on-tomorrow.org. And today we are featuring the Circle Foundation, and with us we have LaShawn Jackson, who's the executive director. How you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
And for those who don't know, if you guys any type of questions or comments, you can call us now at 312-738-1060. Now, LaShawn, the first question I want to ask you is, what is Circle Foundation's mission?
Okay. So Circle Foundation's mission is pretty long, so I'm just going to summarize it. We strive to inspire, motivate, and empower people. Our whole goal is on human potential and helping people realize that. So that's it in a nutshell. You know, we can go through alone.
Okay. So what made you start this nonprofit organization?
A business partner and myself, we were working with education at a school called Bronzeville Academic Center. And in the midst of us working there, the school was getting shut down. One of our goals for business was to start our own nonprofit, and it just seemed like the right time to do it and save the school at the same time. So in 2009, we actually started Circle Foundation, and the school was one of our first programs.
I mean, was it always your did you always want to start a nonprofit organization, or you just seen the struggle that was going on with the youth that made you decide to just pick on it and actually create the Circle Foundation?
Well, I've pretty much been working with youth since I was 19.
Oh, really?
Doing different mentoring programs, counseling, and things like that. So working with youth has been a life passion of mine. As far as opening a business, has also been another passion. I didn't think it would be nonprofit, but life kind of directs you in a certain way, and then you find out, yeah, this is what I want to do. So we always want to open a business, always had a focus on helping youth, and it kind of fit together.
So why do you think it's important to invest with the youth in Chicago?
I'm from Chicago. I was a youth here, and I know some of the struggles that the youth have growing up in the inner city, some of the challenges with self-identity, just struggles growing up in the city, a lot of challenges, and someone has to do it, and I feel that I pretty much have a good relationship with kids. I've been working with them for a while, and that's my passion, to help them.
I mean, other than Circle Foundation, how have you been working with the youth?
Other than Circle Foundation, so like I said, I started out as a mentor. I worked in the Upward Bound program when I was in college. Did a lot of volunteering like that. I was doing some substitute teaching. I started some therapy groups. I have a background in counseling, so I've been doing counseling for a while. Stress management, all these things I've been doing with youth and young adults as well.
So you got a under your belt working with the youth.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the largest education programs that you have with the Circle Foundation is the Innovations High School.
Right.
So how can you tell us a little about that school?
So Innovations High School is almost people consider us an alternative school. I don't like to use that word because it has a negative stigma to it. We consider ourselves an option school, and pretty much we work with students who, some of which have had struggles in the regular high school. Others who just want a different school setting. They haven't been successful or don't feel comfortable in their school setting. So we work with 324 students, and essentially it's just a small school setting. And Innovations High School, we're pretty successful. When we get them to the senior year, we graduate about 90%. So
90%.
90%.
And what are the age group for these students?
16 to 21.
Oh wow.
Yep. Wide range.
And you have a 90% graduation rate with these students?
Yep.
How is that? What's in the curriculum that evolves them to get into the graduation?
Essentially, the first year can be a struggle with a lot of students. So I say when we get them to the senior year, we have a 90% graduation rate. A lot of students aren't ready to just come back to school. It takes a lot of discipline and structure to make it in school, especially when you've been struggling. So once we kind of lay that platform and the kids make it to that senior year, we provide a lot of support around the mentoring programs, and then all of our staff really have relationships with our students. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that makes us successful, is that we're able to attach with the students and let them know that we care, but also able to give them that guidance in times of struggle.
And also, you guys practice the art integration theory, right?
Yes.
So can you explain us about that and how it benefits your students?
So arts integration is essentially, we use arts to connect with the students through the curriculum. So we'll have artists come in to work with the teachers, or the teachers use an art kind of milieu to kind of, in their lesson plan, to help engage the students. That helps because a lot of the basic classes like math and science can be pretty boring. So we want to make it exciting, make it something that the students kind of want to buy into first, and then you hit them with the education on the background.
You show them the art, but then you also give them the type of education that they need, right?
Yes, definitely.
So your website says that the Innovation High School graduates must complete 22 academic credit hours. So is that part of? So is this art theory part of the academic hours, or
it's integrated?
It's integrated with
the regular
right?
classes. Yeah.
And you had to have 40 community service hours and create a senior portfolio, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
what exactly is the senior portfolio?
So the senior portfolio is probably one of the most challenging projects that our students face. It's a bunch of stuff. You have to present to a panel of people. You have to write a paper or several papers. You have to put some work together from your time and innovations, kind of a portfolio of sorts. And a lot of students aren't used to presenting in front of people, so the communication is real key right there. But also, it's a show of what they've learned since they've been in our school.
Awesome. And what kind of classes and clubs can students and innovations expected to be a part of?
We have regular classes like math, science, English
Right.
1, English 2, and all that stuff.
Right.
But we also have different classes like forensics.
Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, our science teacher, who's been with us for a while, has a science class based on forensics, and the students learn the art and science of forensics, what we would see on TV at, what's the show, forensic show?
CSI?
CSI. So they're like a CSI show.
Yeah.
So the class is based on that type of science. We have a video media course. We have audio engineering course with a recording studio. So we have different courses, but the foundation and the core subjects are the same: math, science, English.
And it seems to me like a lot of these clubs, a lot of these programs you guys have for the students really does engage on them, because like, it is, they teach them all types of stuff from CSI, they teach them all types of studio and recording stuff. And my thing is like, how exactly do kids like react to it? How do they pick it up, and how do they at first? Because I know at first it's kind of like difficult being from 16 to 21. Like how do they come about it when they first come to Innovations High School?
Well, a lot of our students come from referral. Another student would like let them know they're going here, or parents or cousins. But I think it can kind of be a little different because it's such a small school setting, and some kids fall right in and get attached and just get right on the wheel. With others, it takes a little time to get used to it.
To get used to it, right?
Yeah.
So you said your students could apply for a Gemstone scholarship. Can you tell us about that scholarship?
So Jim Stone is a supporter of ours who was a businessman in Chicago. He is a businessman in Chicago. And basically he talked to me about supporting the students in their efforts. And what we came up with was a Gemstone Scholarship Fund. And essentially what that does is if the students have a high GPA, get the right grades, the right attendance, and participate in clubs and do community support work, each one of them has a certain standard that they have to meet. They can get $125 each quarter, and for 2 years after they graduate while they're in college.
Really?
Really.
So that's what the Gemstone. So and you said the kids must meet a specific curriculum to get this scholarship, right?
You have to have a certain amount of grades.
Right. So I mean, other than the scholarship, can we talk more about the mentorship programs that are hosted by the Circle Foundation? For example, the Yes program, which aims to keep kids in school. So why does a mentor why does a kid actually need a mentor?
Well, like I said, a lot of students come from backgrounds where they don't have a lot of support. And outside of that, some students do have a lot of support, but still need more. So the mentoring programs are all focused on our students. We only offer those programs to students that attend our school or who have graduated. And essentially, we just work with them to make sure that they stay on the right track. There's a lot of obstacles that our students face nowadays, and to have someone to kind of grab your hand and make sure you stay on that path is really essential sometimes for our students.
And do you think this really benefits some of the students?
Oh yes, definitely. A lot of the students will attest that we really need it.
Really? I mean, is there like an example of a student who actually got help and who actually changed them?
There are like countless examples of that. But I like just to give you some examples of some of the obstacles they face. Our students, some of them are homeless. Some of them come from single-parent families or don't have any parents helping them out. Financial obstacles. Some of our students were and are involved in gang activity. Live in neighborhoods where it's hard to get out. Some of their family members may have been shot, killed. There's a lot of social pressures that they go through. So mentoring is very supportive for what we do.
especially for Innovations High School. So how can the homeless kids succeed?
And we do have homeless support for our homeless students, financial support, and then also we provide resources for them, like trying to find housing and things like that, shelters. So that is another thing that we are able to help our students with.
Really? So can we get more into that? Exactly how?
Well, first we have to identify them as needing the support, but then also we can give them once we find out that they're in this situation, we can give them bus cards to get to school. There are other funds to help them get clothing if they can't afford a uniform, pay for their school fees, lunch, food, and things of that nature. Food, clothing, and shelter if they need it.
Awesome. And remember, everybody, if you have any type of questions or comments, you can call us now at 312-738-1060. So now the Compass Counseling Program is what you guys have, is geared at helping kids and families get the counseling and training that they need. As it pertains to getting students on the right track, what are some of the challenges that this program faces?
So this one is pretty much the same. They come from the same demographics.
Okay.
Some of the same problems that the students face. The Compass Counseling is a little less rigorous in that the other programs like the homeless, we actually follow the kid and try to help them outside of school. Compass Counseling is mostly focused on inside of school.
Okay.
So, for example, if a kid is in class and maybe they came to school after, and I'm just using an extreme right now, a cousin might have been shot or killed or something happened in the house, and it's hard to concentrate in class like that, but most of our students want to come to school anyway. So they go to class, they can't concentrate. There's a Compass counselor who will take them out of class, kind of work with them and make sure that they can stay focused throughout the day. And if they can't, give them some work on the side so they can do their work outside of the classroom and support them.
Well, it could be difficult at times, don't you think, sometimes, especially for the students?
Yeah, very difficult.
Because considering where they're coming from, they're from the bad neighborhoods and the families and the gangs, it's really, really hard to get them to talk, but the fact that you guys have the Compass Counseling Program and what you guys do, I think it's a really great fit for them. So going to the YS3 program, which is a program that helps kids develop work skills and also prepares them for a higher learning. So what are the skills that these kids need for learning this program?
So this program is a workforce program, so we're really focused on helping them get jobs. We teach them job interviewing skills, how to write a resume. We set them up with job interviews. So this is really focused on when they get out of school that they'll have some employment, and also most of them get employment while they're in school. So it's a job training program, and if you have a job, you'll be more successful in life. So I guess it's a life skill training program also.
And do a lot of these kids really actually join this type of program to get a job, or a lot of them just? Yeah. Was there any examples of a kid who actually changed himself by coming into this program?
Yeah, again, there are so many examples of kids. I think the majority of our students change when they come to our school and get in these programs. We've had students who basically went from homeless, no job, living on their own to getting their job. And going to school at the same time once they graduated that participated in programs like these. And
how was the success rate for the YS3 program?
It's pretty successful. The thing about the YS3 program, it's funded by the city, so it's one of those things, if it's not successful, it will be cut. And we've had it for 5 years now.
Right. So how hard is it for a working student to study?
That can be a challenge. We have some students that come to school that work all night and then come to class and kind of doze off, like, man, it's hard to stay woke because I've been working the night shift. It can be very challenging, which is one of the reasons why we actually have a evening school also for some of our students who might need a different schedule due to their work schedule. But it's very hard. You can imagine being in college. When I was in college, I was, tired and everything, but being in high school and having to hold a job and go to school, and some of them have children also, it's very, very taxing.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of jobs, you also have a summer job program, right?
Yes,
Can you talk to us about the summer job program?
Mm-hmm. So every year our organization runs a summer job program, and we hire up to I think last year we had about 40 or 50 students that were employed throughout the neighborhoods in Chicago, and we also had some students that worked directly with us at our site over the summer. It's a very good program. It keeps kids off the streets. They get to earn a little extra money, and they get skill sets and get to build that resume up so that when they're out after the summer is over and they want to continue a job, some of the sites actually keep the kids on, and then if they don't, they at least have a resume builder.
And what jobs do these kids? What are some examples of the jobs that these kids
some of them work in community service programs where they go out and help other kids. We've had jobs at Burger King, Target. We've had jobs at the alderman's offices. So it's a wide range of.
So it's a wide range of
Wide
jobs
range.
that you offer these kids, and the kids from 16 to 21, any within those age groups could actually join this summer job. Right?
Yes, yes.
And they have to join the summer job. They have to be enrolled. In order for them to be in the summer job, they have to be enrolled within the school.
We give our students the opportunity first because we know we have a wide range of students who need it. But there are some cases where we do hire students outside of our school for the summer job program.
Really? So do these kids come back to school after finding a job?
Yeah, actually they do. Now I've had one situation where one kid got a job and just said I didn't want to come back to school, and we tried to hunt him down, but we couldn't find him. But for the most part, kids come back to school. Mostly because they know that the job they have, they're going to need an education later, to bag that job up. They, just getting a job in high school, which we tell our kids, you can get a good job in high school, but without that education to back you up, it's going to be very competitive after a while to keep climbing that ladder.
As you climb up the ladder to
Yeah.
do what you got to
Yeah.
do, right? And also, how popular is the program among your students, and why is it important for the kids to have these, especially these type of summer jobs that you guys offer?
All of them are really popular. They're in demand. Most of the kids stop me in the hallway and say, "Hey, Miss Jackson, you have any job this summer? Put me on the list first," and all that type of stuff. So it's pretty popular. Most kids, I think, and this is something that we need to work on better as a city. Most kids would like to work during the summer. They like making money. So and a lot of kids really need to make money if they're living on their own or if they're supporting their family. So if we can help these kids, support themselves in that matter, that would be great for citywide, not just for our campus.
So do you have anything else coming within the future of these summer jobs? Because I heard you guys are coming out with another program that's coming up in the summer, right?
Yeah, well, we're going to continue doing what we're doing. We're trying to build our recording studio summer job program a little bit more because we just upgraded our recording studio. So hopefully we'll have more programs with the recording engineering this summer for the students.
And all these programs, do they get a lot of professional skills out of it?
Yeah, most of them, like I said, like working in the alderman's office and even working in the community service agencies, that part of the whole purpose of getting them the job is to get some skill sets while working there, not just for the money.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
now going towards you now. I mean, do you really think working with the Circle Foundation really changed you as a person, as a human being? Considering that you worked with all types of people, since you were 19. I mean, has it evolved? Have it made you a different person? Had it changed you working with these people from Innovation High School?
Yeah, I think my whole life has been changed by what I've been doing. Like I said, I was from the streets of Chicago. I've been involved in all types of stuff in Chicago as a youth. Negative and positive. So as you work with other people and give back, you kind of have to change yourself in order to do a good job. You can't be yourself living negatively and trying to help a youth out. So yes, definitely my life has been changed, and I think just by giving back, you always change yourself. By giving, you always better yourself.
And the fact that you guys, change these kids' life and you help them get adapted to it, to the school, the school system, I think it's a really, really good support. And at what point do you determine, you could lead a company?
Well, I had worked for myself for a while before I opened my own business. I was doing private consulting with different educational institutions and social services. So I had been working by myself for a while. As far as running the company, I think I just just thought I can do it and went out there and did it. I had business training from school and running community organizations and things like that, but no training can give you the proper understanding of what it takes to run a business. So a lot of it is on-the-job training. I think in the 5 years that I've been running this business, I've definitely grown as a leader and understanding my purpose to the organization and keeping it running. But when I first started, there was a lot of things I needed to learn. And you learn as you go along, but we've been successful and continually growing over 5 years, so I think we're doing pretty good.
Like what?
Things that I've learned.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that in my position with the organization that I've learned is that it is a business side to this. So although I'm very passionate about working with the kids and being in the hallways and trying to work with them, my time to do that is very limited at this point because my essential thing is to make sure the business aspects of the company get taken care of. So I think when people hear that we have a school and a nonprofit, most of them only think that the principal type, the director of the school, but there's a whole different aspect to keeping the money coming in, making payroll, keeping the lights on, building, having a vision for the company, seeing it expand. All those things are things that I had to grow into and learn a little bit more about.
Definitely. And do you have any type of fundraising events that are coming up?
Oh yes, I do. Actually, my wife and I threw a fundraising event are throwing a fundraising event on December 27th at a restaurant called Nelcott. It's in the West Loop. I believe it is 800, right off Halsted and Randolph. And essentially, it's a day party where we invite people to come out and just mingle and get to know some of our staff. But the funds from that party go toward the school, all the funds that we raise for that. And then our biggest fundraiser is in March, which next year will be March 22nd. It's our annual gala. This will be our 6th annual gala this year, and it will be at, what's the name of the restaurant? It skips me now. Alhambra restaurant. Really nice venue. It's kind of a sit-down dinner. We have a comedian come out, awards presentation. It's really nice. So that's March 22nd.
All right.
Don't forget, I hope
Remember
to see
that.
you.
If you have any more questions, you guys can call us now at 312-738-1060. Now, do you raise money by entering space at the school?
Part of what we do with our recording studio, because it is a professional recording studio, we rent it out, and the funds that people pay to rent that studio out go back to the school. So that's a fundraising project. We've had people come in and use our cafeteria for different meetings and things like that. That's not a lot of money, but every little penny helps. So yeah, we do rent out the space.
And going back to the studio, the professional studio, what was the idea behind that? Behind coming up with, I mean, why get a music studio?
Yeah, well, believe it or not, me and my partner were actually in the music arena. We produced music before, so it was one of our hobbies. We opened up 2 recording studios prior to this one.
Really?
And so when we opened up the school, we just thought that it would be only right to have those resources available for the students.
And are the kids involved with the studio, like with clients?
Yeah, all of our kids, depending on their grades, if they get the right grades, can get free studio time. The students that are taking the class to learn how to do audio engineering actually can run the sessions for the students. So they get hands-on experience with running a live studio session.
Oh, really?
We like to leave it as an option for our students. A lot of our students are into poetry, rap, singing, and different things like that. So they can get free studio time, whereas they go outside of us, they would have to pay a substantial amount of money
for the studio
for
time.
the studio time.
Right,
Studio time costs a lot of money.
Right, and do you think like the studio really helps a lot of the students focus?
Yeah.
With their life.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's another perk. A lot of you could say a handful of our kids are going to be into sound engineering and studio and arts like that, but some of them aren't. So we have to have other things besides the studio. But those who are into it definitely use it and definitely like it as a resource.
And you guys also have a radio and television program, right?
Yeah, we do. Well, kind of. We have a class. For,
right?
Yeah, definitely
For
for radio and television that we just introduced this year, which is going very well. We want to get more into the media arts and radio and television, so this is kind of like our pilot year for this class. Students really like that, and I think it's going real well. I get some good feedback from the students.
I mean, definitely. I mean, it's a really good mixture with the music and the media, and it gives them. I mean, people, especially kids when their ages are coming, they see that stuff every day when they go out.
Right.
The fact that they're learning it inside innovations is such a great opportunity for them to do it themselves.
Yeah,
and I think that's what makes kids keep coming back to school and keep going and keep doing what they got to do to strive to be the best that they can.
Yeah.
So how can someone else help support the Circle Foundation?
You can support us by donating. No, you can. I mean, there's countless ways to help us. You can volunteer with the school. You can. Donations don't always have to be financial. They can be. We have coat drives and things like that during the winter sometimes. You can come just volunteer to help us out with field trips. If you have a professional business or anything like that, our students can come out, and if you open up your business to let our students see what you do, they can get some ideas about the profession that you're in and things like that. So there are countless ways that we can have collaborations and supports with people that want to support us.
And how can they learn more about the Circle Foundation?
You can call at 312-999-9360. And you can actually speak to myself, Mr. Jackson, or Mr. Moore, who I'm the director, he's the principal of the school, but we are also the co-founders, so we can talk to you about how you can help us out.
Perfect. Is there anything else you think innovate Circle Foundation that people should know about the Circle Foundation that we actually really haven't talked about?
I just want to mention that the school we have is one of 22 campuses that of a part of a charter called Youth Connection Charter School, and the schools that we run are pretty primarily the only schools like this in Chicago and pretty much in the United States that are here to help students that have dropped out or have troubles in regular high schools. And because we're kind of unique, sometimes we get overlooked, but I think that what we do is crucial to Chicago and crucial to some of the students' growth. So we want to make sure you guys look up Youth Connection Charter School. That's our partner in charter, and we're doing outstanding work.
All right, and looks like we have one more left in the show. LaShawn, do you have anything else to say?
Thank you for inviting me out.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really, really appreciate it, everything that you did. And thank you so much. Once again, this is Focus on Tomorrow. Focus on Tomorrow is a nonprofit organization which is located in Chicago, Illinois. You can find us at the web at www.focus-on-tomorrow.org, or you can email us at info@focus-on-tomorrow.org. I'm your host, Rick Caballero, and thank you guys, and see you next week.